a question for you. How often has someone asked, "How are you?" and you automatically replied, "I'm fine," even when you're not? As women and as moms, we do this all the time, right? I know I'm definitely guilty of it. We carry this invisible load of responsibilities and emotions that so often go unnoticed by everyone, sometimes even by ourselves. That invisible load of motherhood is the countless mental, physical, and emotional tasks we juggle every day to keep our families going. It's making sure the pantry is stocked, the doctor's appointments are scheduled, and the permission slips are signed, and everyone remembers that it's crazy sock day at school. Is being the one who knows where the missing sock is, or the favorite toy is, or the one who comforts the kids through every tantrum and tough day. All of that work is real, and it's heavy. But because we handle it silently in the background, it's often unrecognized. In fact, research confirms what you already feel in your bones. Moms manage about 71% of all the household's mental load tasks on average. No wonder we are all exhausted. And with the holidays around the corner, the holidays actually being here, that mental load gets even heavier. Coordinating family events, buying gifts, keeping traditions alive, the list never ends. We give and we give and we give, pouring all of our energy out to care for our loved ones. You know, there's a saying that I really, really love, and it says that you can't pour from an empty cup. Think about that. If you are running on fumes with nothing left for yourself, how can you possibly give your best self to your kids or to your partner? We need to take care of ourselves in order to take care of everybody else. But as moms, we often feel like we have to be the rock, the ever-present caregiver, and we feel guilty or maybe even weak if we need a break. So we say, "I'm okay," even when we're not okay. We push through fatigue, we ignore stress, and dismiss our own needs. But covering up our struggles doesn't make them disappear. In fact, it can definitely make things worse. Sometimes we don't even have the words to describe what we're feeling. We just know that we are so overwhelmed. Other times, we might feel uncomfortable admitting we're struggling, whether it's to our doctor or our family or our friends or even ourselves. And you know what? This is so much more common than you think. Studies show that about 1 in 7 new moms experiences postpartum depression, and yet half of those cases go undiagnosed and untreated. Why? Often because we don't talk about it. We tell our providers and our loved ones, "I'm fine," even as we're quietly falling apart inside. We carry on, carrying that invisible load, pouring from an empty cup until there's nothing left to pour. Believe me, I learned this the hard way, how crucial it is to refill my own cup. After I came home from having my daughter especially, my body was in shambles and my mind was a complete mess. I had been through a traumatic birth experience. I felt like my life was in pieces, and yet here I was, suddenly responsible for a newborn baby who needed me constantly. I remember feeling so overwhelmed, like I was drowning in expectations. Be a great mom, recover quickly, keep the household running. All of those thoughts and those expectations echoed in my head. And during one of those exhausting early days, my husband gave me a small gift that ended up meaning the world to me. It was a box of tea. And on each tea packet, there was a little quote that says, "Take this moment for you." At first, I almost laughed. What moment? Where? When you're a new mom, there barely seems to be a spare second in the day. But I really challenged myself to take that message to heart because I knew that that was the only way I was going to really heal. So every single day, I promised myself I would find 5 minutes just 5 minutes, to make a cup of that tea and just breathe. No chores, no babies, no checking on anyone, just me, sitting quietly, sipping tea, and allowing myself to rest and pause. And let me tell you, those 5-minute tea breaks became my lifeline. That little ritual did so much for my sanity and well-being, more than I could have ever imagined. It was a tiny act of self-care, but it helped me really, really recharge. Sometimes I would even journal for a few minutes or just close my eyes and enjoy the silence, or whatever silence sounds like with a newborn baby. And those moments were when I really realized that self-care doesn't have to be a spa day or even a vacation. It can be as simple as a cup of tea. It's not selfish to take time for you. It is necessary, mama. And when I took care of myself, even just a little, I found I could return to my family a bit more refreshed, more patient, and more me. And moms, we all need those moments. Did you know that 62% of moms get less than 1 hour to themselves in a day? 62%. Honestly, some days it feels like 0 hours. If that's you, I give you permission. No, scratch that. I beg you to give yourself permission to carve out a sliver of time for yourself, even if it's just 5 minutes with a hot cup of tea, or writing in a journal after the kids fall asleep, or, as I prefer, early in the morning before everyone wakes up. Your family needs you at your best. You need you at your best. And that means that you need to refill your cup now and then. I want to share another story with you that really taught me something about those overwhelming moments of motherhood. It's about my son, who's now 4 years old. The other night, out of the blue, he came creeping in our bedroom and he climbed into bed between me and my husband. And I have to confess with you guys, I really got emotional. I just held his little hand in the dark for what felt like a really long time, and memories came flooding back. You see, there was a period not too long ago when he was a toddler, and he would crawl into our bed every single night. And I remember back then feeling so tired, even sometimes frustrated. His feet would be in my face, his elbows would be in my back. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that feeling when a phase your child is going through, whether it's sleep troubles, tantrums, potty training accidents, you name it. It just feels endless and exhausting. Well, eventually, thankfully, thank God, that phase did end. My son grew, and one day, he just stopped coming into our bed at night. Honestly, I didn't even notice exactly when he stopped. Life moved on, a new challenge came up, and he started sleeping through the night in his own room. It's the kind of change that you really don't realize has happened until you look back. So when he crawled into our bed again the other night, after not doing that for such a long time, it hit me hard. Here was my little boy, not so little anymore, snuggling up to me like he used to. And instead of feeling annoyed, I really felt grateful for this unexpected moment. I found myself really cherishing it. I squeezed his hand, soaked in the feeling of him being small and cuddly, because I knew that these moments are so fleeting. And it reminded me that so many of those tough phases in motherhood are temporary. When you're in it, it feels like it'll last forever. Those sleepless nights, those messy toddler tantrums, the mountains of laundry, the constant noise and chaos, it can be so overwhelming. And you think, I cannot wait for this to be over. But one day, it will be over. And you'll look back, and oddly enough, you might miss parts of it. You might even wish you could have just one of those nights back. Little feet kicking your back, just to relive a sweet piece of your child's childhood. So I really think the lesson here is twofold. First, for all of the moms who are in the thick of it, hang in there. If you're up to your eyeballs in exhausting phases right now, it will pass. You will sleep again. The kids will become more independent. There is light at the end of the tunnel, whatever you're going through. And second, even as you wish some days would hurry up and end. It really helps when you try to find one tiny moment in the chaos to treasure, because sometimes, in hindsight, those are the moments that really mean the most. All of this, the invisible load, the tendency to say I'm fine when we're not, the struggle to find time for self-care, the way we plow ourselves through hard phases without asking for help. Ooh, I'm still struggling with that. These are exactly the challenges that inspired me to work on something to help moms like us. In fact, it's why I founded the Heart Next Door and built the Heart Next Door app in the first place, to make sure moms never feel alone in carrying this load. One feature that I am especially proud of and that I personally wish I'd had back when I was a new mom is our daily check-in. And today I'm excited to show you exactly how it works. Okay, so inside of the app, as you guys saw last time, we dived into Nia, but here is the check-in feature of the app. So after you've created your account and you have the app, then every day on your check-in page, even actually as a pop-up notification to remind you each day, you will get a customized affirmation, particularly to where you are in your pregnancy or postpartum journey. It changes every day to really meet you where you are. And then there are these 3 check-in questions. And as you can see, it says, take this moment for you. You can tell where the inspiration came from. So we ask you these 3 questions every day. What emotion feels most true? Peaceful, grateful, hopeful, anxious, overwhelmed, tired, in pain, disconnected. And these are all aligned. We really looked at the research to see what are the indicators and early maternal warning signs. And so, as you can tell, some of those negative ones are intertwined there, so that in the event that you say, I'm in pain or feeling disconnected or anxious, we can make a note of that and share it with the people in your provider and care team that can really help and intervene and meet that need. And then we also ask, have you cared for your body, right? Because that's a really big thing. And sometimes a reminder that we need to make sure that you're feeding and nourishing yourself, because again, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't take care of baby if mama's not getting taken care of. So we really want to make sure that mom is good. And then lastly, we want to know if you feel supported right now. The whole purpose of this app is to provide care and community. And we've touched on some of the care pieces, but I'm excited to get into the community pieces as well, because that's really what it's all about. Technology is a great catalyst for community and care, but it's not at all a replacement. And so we really want to make sure that we give you the resources to build your village, because it really takes a village to raise a child and to make sure that mom is thriving. So those are the check-in features. And then after you make your selection and you complete your check-in here, then you'll be able to, it says, thank you for checking in. And then you'll be able to see on your insights tab, like how your trend has been, and also share those recent check-ins with you as well. So that is the feature. Excited to share more. So maybe you've been feeling sad for days on end, or maybe you have a nagging pain or your anxiety is through the roof, but you brush it aside because you're busy or you think it's normal, mom stress. The check-in is here to catch those red flags. If you report feeling really low or something seems off, the app will immediately flag it. In fact, we designed it so that if any serious red flags come up, your health provider or designated doula or support system gets alerted right away. That means no more struggling in silence or things slipping through the cracks. Remember that statistic about half of postpartum depression going undiagnosed? Well, not on our watch. If you are using the Heart Next Door, we really want to make sure that if you need help, you get it as early as possible. And the check-in isn't just about catching problems. It's also about encouraging you to take that moment for yourself. Sometimes, even just the act of opening the app and checking in with your feelings can remind you, oh yeah, I matter too. It's a prompt to practice a little self-awareness and self-care, and you might realize Wow, I've answered that I'm exhausted 3 days in a row. Maybe I should ask someone to babysit for an hour so I can take a nap. Or, I keep saying my pain level is high. I should call my doctor. It's almost like having a friend who gently asks, hey, how are you really doing today? No. How are you really? And won't accept I'm fine for an answer. Another great thing is that all this info is shared securely with your healthcare provider if you choose. So at your next appointment, your doctor already knows how you've been feeling over the past weeks. Not just the 5 minutes you managed to remember in the exam room. This way, you don't have to rely on memory or downplay your symptoms. Help can reach you faster, and you're not carrying that burden alone. So I really hope this resonated with you. If you saw yourself in any of these stories or struggles, please know that you are not alone and you deserve care and support just as much as anyone in your family. You can't pour from an empty cup. None of us can pour from an empty cup. So don't feel guilty for filling yours, ever. In fact, I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments, what's one small thing you do for yourself each day? And maybe we can inspire each other with some new ideas to lighten our load. And if you found this helpful, stick around. We are only in week 2 of this special Built for Mom holiday series, and there is so much more to come. Next week, we'll tackle another huge challenge that so many new and expecting moms face, and share more about how we're addressing it with the Heart Next Door app. And I will not spoil it, but I promise you it's a good one. Each week, we are building up on these topics, leading up to week 5, where I have a special surprise gift for all of you. So stay tuned for next week as we build up to week 5. And trust me, you won't want to miss the finale and the gift that we have waiting for you. Until then, remember, take your moment. You deserve it. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.